Good evening, and welcome to Tales from the Lost Emporium. It's Saturday night, and it's time for our regular Cthulhu game. So we have our cast of players here, but before we get into meeting them, we would just like to say, as always, thank you to our sponsors. So we have Lost Boys Pizzas. Pizzas available for delivery in the UK. Amazing horror-themed pizzas that come on a black charcoal base. They're brilliant. So thank you, Lost Boys Pizza. Monkey's Emporium for all your retro gaming vintage toys. Check them out on Facebook. They're doing auctions every Friday night. John is incredibly entertaining, and he'll do you a good deal.
And he's finally, in the chat.
Hey Johnny, how you doing? Join us tomorrow when Johnny will be playing D&D. And also Shade Glass Games, which if you live in the Midlands where we are in the UK, it is your friendly local gaming store for all your role-playing and Warhammer needs. And finally, we have a thanks to Tabletop Audio for just some of the background music for tonight. So, now then, we are doing Call of Cthulhu, and previously our players have gone through quite a few scenarios. So we did Deadlight, we did Crimson Letters, and we did, I can't remember the name of it, a lakeside one, but
Servants of the Lake.
Servants of the Lake, that was it. Well, two of our players have a link to Las Vegas, and we're going into the second session of our custom one that I've written, which is called Twilight Curtain Call. Okay, so let's meet our players for the night. So, Bushy, how you doing?
I am pretty good, thanks. I'm pretty good on this fine Saturday. I am Bushy. I am playing Jeffrey Robert Thurston. I am a stage magician hailing from Lincoln.
Brilliant. And Ross, how you doing?
All right, thank you. So, hi everyone, I'm Ross, and I'm playing Jack Philip Porter, also known as JP, and I am a stuntman following around the Most Haunted crew.
Hey, and speaking of the Most Haunted crew, how you doing?
Hi, I'm so I'm playing Sharon Bennett. So I'm one part of the Most Haunted team. I do all the books. I've written Night in the Orchard.
Orchard.
I always say it wrong. And...
No, she's written it.
And Forge's Fear, and I'm starting to write a new book that will be called New Servants of the Lake.
Ooh.
And I think that's about it.
Brilliant.
And then my partner's Michael.
Yes, so finally, Gary, welcome.
Hi, I'm Gary. I play Michael Pritchard. I'm a parapsychologist and a psychic medium with a spirit guide called Sam, who is no longer with me because he's been taken over by a lady called Samantha, who doesn't seem like to be a nice person at the minute.
I like to think that Sam's transcended to a greater purpose.
I'm still in grief.
So you two play what we call the Most Haunted crew, because you've been in all our games. You write about all these spooky happenings, and you've amassed a small fortune, haven't you?
Yeah, and we've got a nice little museum we keep all our trinkets in that's in Las Vegas, which is where we decided to come and have a look.
Yeah, see how things were going.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, so last week, what happened? Who would like to give me a brief rundown of last week's events?
Well, I suppose as the star of the show, I should take the lead. You see, in the Twilight Theatre, Jeffrey was performing his stage act. Now, whilst I was quite surprised, I admit, to be given this opportunity, I was determined to take it full throttle. As such, I managed to throw my knives without fail. And, well, young Michael, he looked a little bit pale after, but I did a fantastic trick where we were able to plunge the knives right into him very quickly. One passed just before his face. It was most entertaining. Then let's see what happened. Well, I believe the son, JP, yes, I think he understood what happened with that fake-backed closet. I think he's a smart one, him. Keep an eye on him. And then Erma Hardy, who was the headliner, well, she died. We're not sure who killed her. JP seems to think it could be his mum and dad. But they were sat in the front row when she screamed. So we don't think it's that. And one of them did take Genevieve, which was one of my doves. And actually, Genevieve is a very good judge of character. So, you know, you shouldn't judge it too harshly. We spoke to Cliff, who is the theatre manager. And Cliff, very kindly, because I did so well in my performance, as everybody expected, that I am now the headliner for the rest of the week, which is fantastic. The downside is I believe that my associates will have to investigate the murder of this Erma Hardy. I think that about sums it up.
Very good. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Last week we started just revisiting someone's previous character. So Bushy and Ross, you retired 2 characters, didn't you?
Yes.
From the first couple of adventures. So we had
on
Robert,
hiatus.
we had Robert, who was a copper turned crook, and you had like his crony Marcus Mitchell, who was a fence.
His crony.
And I think we should revisit that again, because I feel it's always important in Call of Cthulhu to let your players know that characters don't retire to a happy place due to the horrors they've witnessed and the bad things that they've had to do to survive. So, Ross, you're going to be taking Marcus once again.
Yes.
All the other players, because you were all playing at that time, you can be the voices in Marcus's conscience. So, Bushy, I'll need you to be Robert again, the ex-copper turned cook, if you wouldn't mind.
My exasperation levels are set to the max.
They had a great relationship, didn't they, Robert and Marcus?
Yeah.
So, this just gives us an insight into what your whole group, particularly the most haunted pair, have been up to in previous games. So, Marcus, we join you. It's become a familiar place now. You don't know how many days, how many nights it's been. You're in a cell. You're not allowed out in fresh air.
Okay.
You get very fitful sleep. What brief bits of sleep that you do manage to get are filled with horrifying, frightful dreams, and you wake up feeling more tired than before you allowed your eyes to slowly close. You haven't been allowed access to proper hygiene facilities in a while. So you smell a bit, but it's an odour that you've got used to. There's no proper toilet facilities here. There's just a bucket in the corner, a rough cot bed, and as always, there's that table bolted to the middle of the cell with 2 chairs bolted either side. That table and that chair that you've come to loathe so much because you know that you get summoned there and repeatedly questioned over and over again about the same things. And you give the same, maybe not the answers they're seeking for. So, you're there. It's a miserable existence. But you take each hour as it comes. And the next hour, when it comes around, you view that as a win. The door starts to unlock. You know what's expected of you. You go and take the seat. You place your palms flat on the table. The table that's got some deep gouges in. And it's as you place both palms on there that your eye is drawn to your left hand. And there's that bandage where you used to have a little finger. It's that stained brown bandage now. Even now, again, you don't know how long you've been without it. You can't remember when this happened exactly, but you just know you keep glancing down and it catches you by surprise. Because you swear you can feel that little finger tingling still there, but there's nothing. Just the bandage over what's left of the stump.
Aww.
No. Poor Marcus.
He's getting what he deserves.
He isn't.
The locks finish turning in the door, and it creaks open. It's a heavy door, and in walks a uniformed military policeman. He's got a heavily weighted club in his right hand. He's just putting the keys back to a loop on his belt. This isn't the policeman that you remember from the last time that's entering your conscious thought. This is a new one. He's bigger and he looks meaner.
Ooh.
He goes and stands in the corner behind you. Then the next guy walks in. This is who you remember from last time. This is the well-dressed gentleman. A crisp black suit, black tie, white shirt. He's carrying a large briefcase again. He sets it down next to the chair, takes his seat, and he steeples his fingers as he leans towards you. And he says, "So, Marcus Mitchell, here we are again. Are you going to be any more forthcoming this time, Marcus?"
I've told you everything I know.
Well, I've got a nose for this sort of thing. You come from a life of crime. You think you're doing a good thing by holding out on your friends. There is no good thing you can do by not telling me the truth here. There are greater powers at work in this world, Marcus, that you've helped unleash. You have a responsibility to see that our world does not get destroyed. Currently, I'm doing my damnedest to try and keep a lid on these things. But you are not part of the solution, Marcus. You are definitely a part of the problem. You are a fly in my ointment. Don't make me squish you. He goes, "Okay then. Let's start with an easy one. Who's Amelia Webb and how do you know her?"
I don't know any Amelia Webb. I told you, we've gone over this. I don't know what more else I can say. I'm just going over the same things every single week, week in, day, just all the time. There's nothing else to tell you. I gave you Robert Francis, the most haunted crew. There was that Texas Ranger guy. I've given you it all. There's nothing more I can say.
You've given us nothing of any worth so far. It says, "You remember Amelia? Lived
No.
near the Orchard Gas and Diner. Young girl. Lost her grandfather. You folks helped her out? You don't
No.
remember this?
No, there was nothing. It was nothing to do with me. I've told you this.
Really? Well, that's strange because she was seen at Flinders Deli with you and Robert. Care to elaborate on what she was doing in Flinders Deli a year later after the Orchard Gas and Diner, speaking to you, Marcus, and your good friend Robert?"
You must have been talking to Robert. I don't recall her being there.
You were there, Marcus. We've got eyewitness accounts. We had eyes on that whole situation.
Who's watching us?
It wasn't me. I wasn't there. It was someone else.
Well,
Talk to Robert. Where's Robert? Bring him in. He'll clear this up.
so it was somebody else, was it, that was driving your car with the black box in the boot at the time as well? Is that what you're
was
saying,
Robert.
Marcus?
It was Robert. I've told you this.
Yeah, we know Robert was there. We also know you were there, Marcus.
No,
You'd recently purchased some donuts and coffee.
I always buy
No.
donuts and coffee.
Marcus, you always remember to buy the donuts and coffee. But did you ever stop to smell that coffee? Take a deep breath. And don't let that pain in your shoulder worry you anymore.
At that, you do get a twinge from that bullet wound in your shoulder that you still don't know quite how it got there. Okay, well, here's the thing. This Amelia Webb, she goes to see you and Robert at the deli, Flinders Deli. And now, do you know what? She's been missing for 6 months now. Marcus, tell me what she said.
She said nothing.
So, you were there.
No, yeah.
I believe we're making a little bit of progress now, Marcus. What did she say?
She said she needed our help. She wanted Robert. She needed his help for something. He helped her out before, and she wanted him to help her again.
I just got to say, hello, Andy. It's nice to see you. Andy Wordy Hall, everybody. Well, that poor young girl, not even in her 30s, has gone missing. People are concerned about her. Seems strange that she meets you and then vanishes. Shall I just add her to the long list of people that's happened to?
You can do, but it's all just a coincidence. It's never anything to do with me. It's just I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You look at the diner. The Most Haunted crew were there. Robert was there.
And so were you.
No, look at the deli. They were there too.
And it seems that you'd arranged for everyone to be there. It was you that called the meeting, Marcus.
No, it definitely wasn't me.
Oh, Robert has assured us that you called him there.
Wait, you've spoken to Robert?
Well, maybe I have, maybe I haven't.
Don't tell him it was me that told you.
I mean,
he can't know that it was me.
He's so much more forthcoming with his information, Marcus.
And go and talk to him. He'll tell you everything. He'll clear this all up.
You see now why we have to keep you locked away? Because if you meet anybody, there's a high chance they're going to go missing. You're a danger to society. You're bringing about powers you don't understand.
You've not gone missing.
I've taken precautions. And at that, he touches something like a lump that's under his tie.
Okay.
He goes, okay, so that's Amelia. What do you know about Walter Scholler?
You're going to need to clue me in.
You know, smart dressed, European type, rich guy, white suit, white hat, dark glasses in the daytime.
Walter. Robert was going to go meet him.
Robert was going to go meet him.
Yeah, he was going to take him a box.
Oh, what box would that be?
It was a black box. I don't know what was inside it. I never looked inside.
You don't know what was inside. Okay, well, maybe we'll come to that later. It's strange because he's been asking for you by name around town an awful lot recently. Tell me, do you owe him something?
It's the black box. Robert was going to take it to him. I just got tied up in it. It was all Robert's fault.
Was Robert taking it to him for you? Did you?
No,
is this
no,
another meeting you
no,
called,
it was for
Marcus?
him. It was for him. Robert said something about some money.
Some money. You had nothing to do with this deal. You
Nothing
weren't the guy behind it all.
I was definitely not the guy behind it all. It was all Robert.
Okay. So, what about Randolph? You've already told me about this Texas Ranger. What more you got? Come on, Marcus. Spill the beans on the Texas Ranger.
He was around a little bit. He was with Robert as well, but they knew each other. They knew each other from a long time ago.
And you knew them both as well, then?
No, just Robert. I was his coffee and donut man. That was all I ever was.
You know he killed
Just
his
a coffee and
partner
donut
during
man.
a siege, right?
He did what?
You know he killed his partner.
No.
That Randolph was not a nice guy. Why would you get mixed up in them, Marcus?
I was just a coffee and donut guy. That was it.
Right. So, you ever been to Squatter's Corner Motel, Marcus? Is that somewhere you like to go and hide out? Maybe arrange a meeting with your author friends?
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
You sure about that?
Yeah, why? What's that got to do with anything?
James Fraser.
James...
What do you know about James Fraser?
James Fraser. Is he that posh guy that went missing?
Oh, so you do know about it. You had something to do with him going missing then?
No, I just heard about it.
So you've been to Squatter's Corner then?
No, I've never been there. I just heard about it, that was all.
And at that, he reaches into his case and he pulls something out and he slams it on the table. And it's what looks like an overly large porcupine quill, but it's got a metallic sheen to it.
Okay.
And he goes, "Remember, Marcus, powers that you do not know about you have unleashed. What's this?"
I don't know. I've never seen it before in my life.
"Marcus, you're just not leveling with me. I don't know if we can achieve anything here. Maybe we just throw away the key to this place and forget you were ever here."
Can I touch it? See if it reminds me of anything.
"Have you got some sort of touch trigger memory there? That seems almost alien, Marcus. What have you been doing?"
It might recall some memories if I can I hold it?
"No." And with that, he pulls it back and puts it back in the case. I goes, "Okay. So, what about this?" And he reaches into the case again, and he brings out what looks like a metallic potato with wires on it. And it has in white paint, "Press here," with a little arrow. And he lays it on the table just out of your reach, and he goes, "Oh, I can see by the look in your eyes that you do recognise this, Marcus. No need for me to ask the question then. Please, do tell."
I can't. The only way for me to tell you is if you let me hold it.
Now, you know that's not going to happen, Marcus. Let's be honest, we don't want you losing another finger, do we?
Ooh, okay. Am I cuffed to the...
We're not cuffed.
I'm not
no.
cuffed. Okay, so I'm gonna really, or attempt to, subtly, just like inch off my chair slightly.
Okay.
Because I think I'm gonna go and attempt to lunge for said potato.
Make me... I know you don't have Marcus... Do you have Marcus's sheet there?
I can get it up in 2 seconds.
So, you're going to need to make me a stealth roll.
I'm going to roll the highest roll known to man.
You know I'm not going to let you get away with it.
Yeah,
You're going to have a penalty dice to it.
Yeah,
So,
see, you're never going to get away with it.
because you're not in the best of shape, you're missing a finger, and you're under intense pressure in this interrogation.
Whose fault is that I'm missing a finger?
Well,
I think
you tell us.
I'm definitely thinking that the chat needs to help save Marcus here, because as much as I might have retired him, I don't want Marcus to die. Marcus, where have you gone?
Marcus,
All
if you
characters-
don't die from this interrogation, Francis is gonna bury you out in the fucking desert.
Very nice, is it?
And I'll give you a right stare telling off as well.
You quickly turned to being a snake in the grass there, by the way,
He did.
Marcus.
I've been there for a long time, so yeah.
No pressure applied, and all of a sudden it was,
It was
oh,
almost
Robert!
last week. This week it's all you, so that's fine.
Oh, you'll get your turn, don't worry. If you
Saying
don't...
that, I
if you-
cannot locate it now. No, it's
That's
vanished.
okay. So just use whatever JP's is there.
Okay, yep, that works for me. So we are going for... What am I doing? Stealth roll.
Stealth, please, with a...
I mean, I just
Penalty.
rolled a 95, so I
Well,
don't
I
think
mean-
it mattered whether I found the sheet or not.
No, because even if you got a 0... Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah,
My
go on,
second
roll
roll was
the
a
penalty
15.
dice. Roll the penalty dice, because I might get a good roll.
My
wasted
second
out
roll
of
was
it.
a 15, so...
Yeah, good. Okay, so that's a spectacular failure.
Thanks
So-
for that.
In your mind, you're being so subtle and amazing. It's like, yeah, these guys are never going to see that.
Okay.
What happens in reality is suddenly this heavily weighted club
Oh,
swings
no.
down and smashes the back of your hand and shatters the bones in your left hand.
Aw.
And you squeal and draw it back. And you just flashes of pain. And they're quite happily, because the guy behind you could clearly see what you were up to. And at this, your interrogator says, well, Marcus, you seem mighty keen on this. So what do you know about it?
Whatever you do, don't squeezed it.
Says, "Oh, I know exactly what to do,
God
Marcus."
damn it!
And actually, what he does is he holds it and he does give it a gentle squeeze, and then like lightning just comes and caresses it and goes around it and around his hand, and it's like his hand's wreathed in lightning. And he's going,
Okay.
"I know exactly what I'm dealing with. Did you know what you were dealing with when you handled it?"
I figured it out. Yeah.
You figured it out. You was in the bathroom and you blew everything up.
I know. I can bluff him.
Right. He goes, "I can see we're not going to get anywhere with this, Marcus. Okay, my final thing. And think carefully on this, Marcus." He puts that in, and he reaches into his suit, and he takes from the inside pocket of his jacket, and he places something on the table in front of you. And it's a black card with a silver border and silver letters. And he goes, "So who is Maximilian Perdita?"
I have no idea.
Really?
Mm.
So what is the Emporium Absentis?
It's not ringing a bell at all.
You've never encountered this then, Marcus?
No, you'll have to explain it to me.
Well, Marcus, it seems you're not much use to us at all, are you? I'm really wondering why we bother wasting money feeding you. Okay, and with that, he just picks up this black card with silver writing, puts it back into his inside jacket pocket, closes the briefcase, gets up and leaves, and then the guard leaves and locks the door, and you're left sat there at the table. And then you're there nursing your shattered hand, and the waves of pain are washing through you. And then that's when your eyes move down to the back to the table, and there in the center is a black card.
Ooh. Okay. Can I pick up the black card?
You can pick up the black card.
Yep. Okay. And what's on it?
It's silver letters. There's a silver border around the edge of the black card, and it says Emporium Absentis.
Right.
And on the back of the black card, it's got a nicely flowing silver script.
Okay.
It says, "A whisper for help can be the first step through the door away from despair." And that's where we'll leave Marcus.
In prison.
He's not having a good time. So, now let's go to Vegas.
Woo!
And we are currently in the Twilight Enigma Theatre. We're backstage where it had got somewhat chaotic. You're outside Erma Hardy's star dressing room. There's a crowd. There's policemen. There's one policeman on the door. You know there's two policemen in the room. And JP, no longer Marcus.
Yeah.
JP has just been led out and he's rejoined your group. Does anyone wish to say anything?
Yeah. What? How did you get out of that?
I told them who we were.
You told them who we were, and they just let you go.
Yeah. You
Right.
guys have got a good name for yourself now. I said to him it was who I work for. I work for you guys. Well,
You
the
promised
company
him
that
the
hires me
prize.
to work for you guys, and yeah, they let me out. Although I may have picked up one of your tricks, Sharon, and I did offer that they might be in a book. But they said they're coming out to talk to you in a minute.
Okay.
And at that, the door does open, and one of the coppers with sergeant stripes comes out and he's looking around the crowd, and then he fixes on JP, and he comes over to JP, and then he looks at you guys speaking to him, and he's like, "Oh, hey there, hey, folks.
Bye.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm a big fan of the Most Haunted. Is there any chance I could get a signed book?" He says, "I always carry one with me anyway." He goes,
Of course you can.
You'll have to. It's a bit tattered, and it's only a paperback." And he reaches into an inside pocket. And he pulls out this battered and tatty paperback of Night in the Orchard.
Nice to meet you, fellow reader.
He's got.
Would you like
Could you
like
sign?
a book?
Could- No. I believe a book that's well worn shows that it's a good book.
Okay, I'll sign it for you. Who to?
He goes, "Oh, just Benny. Benny will do. Thank you."
Penny. There you go.
Oh, that's Michael. Michael, could I trouble you for an autograph?
Of course.
So he passes it to you. As you, I couldn't believe when this gentleman said that you folks were investigating this. I mean, you arrived on the scene awfully quick, like. But well,
Luckily, we was in the audience watching the show.
you're in the for the show. Were you fans of Miss Erma? Were you?
More of Thurston, we know.
Who's that?
Magician.
Oh, yeah, you showed us the trick with the big car. Oh,
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
All you say is pretty good. Is okay.
Okay,
The
pass
thing-
I've got his
Good
dog.
times, but
Like
it's
his
fine.
dog.
It's a mighty fine dove you've got on your shoulder there, miss.
Oh, thank you very much.
It says, yeah, so I noticed you folks were in there. You did, like, contaminate the crime scene, did you? I'm sure you've seen plenty of these things
Oh,
before.
We've been around a lot of these, as you can tell by books. We seem to get involved.
We've been around a lot.
of this stuff.
And with that, he says, would you mind just coming back into the room with me for a second? Is that okay?
Yeah.
If you let Sharon go in first.
Oh yeah, I've got to cover up all the mirrors.
So just for the viewers that we've got, then Michael, what's this thing with mirrors that you've got?
I seem to have this thing where if I see a reflective or a mirrored surface, I see a lady that we may have encountered before, from an old case, from the witch trials.
Yeah.
Because I'm amazing.
We stupidly did not burn the papers and kept them for our own museum, and that seems to be coming back on me.
Yeah, so Keziah Mason, the famous witch, has got her hooks into you and is torturing you at every opportunity she can.
Yes, every reflective surface there is.
Okay, so are all of you going in?
Yeah, is everyone coming in?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll go in and cover
I'm
all the
gonna
mirrors.
also beckon good old Jeffrey and get him to come in this time. Come on, Jeffrey.
So Sharon, I guess you're going in first, and you're covering up the two big mirrors. Then is that right?
Yeah, and I'll tell the copper that it's Michael. He's got a phobia with mirrors.
Okay, and then okay, yeah. I mean, don't mention that in the books, but maybe you ought to put that in the next book.
Yeah, well.
It says along with the ravishingly handsome Sergeant Bartram of the Las Vegas Police Department. I
Of
mean, that'd
course.
be good.
Would you like me to put your name in it?
I mean, that'd be awfully kind, man.
What's your name? Benny.
But well, I mean, Sergeant Bartram would be better.
Sergeant Barter.
I mean, certainly in front of my boys, I'd appreciate you calling me by my first name.
Oh, well, hopefully we
That's
put
Sergeant.
If
Sergeant. Yes,
if you-
Sergeant.
become a value piece of the team.
It says so. Me and the boys have had a quick look at it, and it don't look natural. I mean, those look like bear claws that have ripped poor Miss Erma open. I mean, what did you guys make of it?
Doesn't look that cool.
I'm interested in your opinions.
We noticed the same thing. It's very irregular, very big claw marks.
Yeah, we don't have animals that size here in Vegas.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Whether you got any white tigers around, because
Are
the
you
magic showing that.
Are you sure there's not like a dancing bear or something?
No, dancing.
know?
We've not had a circus or a carnival here for a good 8 months.
Nobody uses any animals in the magic shows.
Only some of them hacks use doves.
Right in front of my door.
I'll have you know that doves are remarkably honourable creatures, sir.
Why, yes, that one on her shoulder looks remarkable. and he goes back to taking some notes in his little policeman's book.
And Jeffrey is going to mutter, Philistine.
We've also noticed these like yellow robes that look hard to place.
Yellow robes.
Yeah, in the wardrobe here, look. I'll open it up.
Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, there's.
It seems out of place for what she'd wear.
It says, well, it looks more like a costume to me. I mean, you know what these theatrical folk are like. They're a superstitious lot. Maybe it's a robe from an old play or something. You know what they're like.
You've not come across any before.
Not in relation to any murder. No, not that I recall.
How long have you been doing the job? How long have you been on?
Why 3 years, sir?
3 years.
Without a blemish to my record.
Okay.
Can I just ask? Sorry, what the yellow robes? Have they got a hood?
No. So it looks like a costume for a play. It's sort of quite elaborate, and I guess it would look like a courtier's robe almost.
Oh, okay.
But it still smells of burning.
It smells very much of, yes, smoke.
Okay.
He says, yeah, I mean, you know, they're superstitious folks, so I imagine it's some old costume she had. Maybe it was a particularly good performance.
Has there been any other accounts of animal attacks or anything recently?
No, nothing like an animal attack at all, no.
Has there been a fire or a bonfire or a barbecue?
Not that I recall. He says, but then, I mean, you'd have to go and see the records. You'd have to go to the station and request access to the archives. You know, just because I don't remember one doesn't mean there wasn't something of that sort.
I mean, we noticed that this is quite a new theatre.
Oh yeah.
Can you remember what it was before?
Yeah, there used to be this theatre's built on top of another one. It says I can't quite remember what happened to that other one. And it'll be in the papers or something if you go and check the local newspaper there. I can't keep. I mean, look, this is Vegas. We've got stuff springing up on old plots all over the place here. I mean, we're getting into a boom time. You know, it's hard. And you know what it's like with prohibition, where, you know, we're very lax on enforcing that at the moment. And with that, he reaches in to his jacket on his other side and pulls out a hip flask, he unscrews it and takes a swig. He goes, yeah, you know, we like to believe Nevada state law takes precedence. So, and
Is he still stood there with it?
yeah.
Oh, don't mind if I do, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, he's all right because he's well impressed with the most haunted crew, so
That's
he
fine.
doesn't mind you helping himself.
Sergeant, can
Yes,
we
ma'am?
use your name to ask questions?
Well, it
As in,
depends.
say,
Depends entirely on what sort of questions you're going to be asking, miss.
So if we go to the newspaper article, or if we need to ask people questions, can we use your name for Clay?
Oh, you mean you want to officially be attached to the investigation?
Yes, please.
I mean, that would be entirely dependent upon you sharing any information that you uncover, and obviously coming to me and the authorities and sharing whatever you find.
I'll just look at Michael and go, is this okay? Do we want to do that or not?
I'm taking several more swigs of this guy's hip flask, and then I will hand it back.
But he's like,
Well, of course we don't want to be on the wrong side
It's
of
in his
the law.
jacket.
We'll always help the law out.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure you do. It's quite explicit in your books that you never break any laws.
We're always helping people.
So while these guys are talking, can I have another poke around the room? Seeing as obviously we were on a bit of a tight time limit last time. Can I have a look to see if there's anything that I didn't quite notice the first time through?
Okay. I won't make you roll because no, you did pretty much find everything of use that was in there.
Can I then bring his attention to the dead flowers? Because they had a card with them,
card.
didn't they, with writing on it?
Yeah.
So
Can you remember what was written on them?
I can. I want to know if he knows what was written on them. No, so what was written on them was the 12 unleash the horrors for Phyllis Mask will collect. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Jeffrey, did you have something you wanted to do?
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm not really sure what use I'm being for you here. I've done my stage show, and now I'm seemingly part of your investigation. You do realise that I'm now the headliner.
And he looks across and he goes, well, sir, you look like one of those theatrical types. I just wonder if you could give us an insight into maybe what was going on in Miss Erma's life, maybe a routine that she had. You're all part of the one big theatrical family, is that not right?
Well, yes, but I don't know what she had for breakfast.
Well, I just assumed that you knew her as you were performing here. I mean, everybody else here seems to be part of the same theatrical
Oh,
group.
heavens to Betsy, no. Do I sound like I'm from around these parts? Good God, man.
I've heard some right awful accents in my time.
Well, I mean, you should try going to Newcastle. It's very interesting up that part.
Well, only the other year we had a double act here called Anthony and Declan. I kind of they had one of them funny Newcastle accents. I could only get about half the words they were saying. They thought they were funny.
They sound horrific, to be honest. 2-bit shysters. Anyway, I don't know. If she was the star, I assume she would get up, she would enjoy a lazy morning, read the paper. Then I imagine she would, she was a singer, yes? So maybe gargle some water and some honey. Maybe take a stroll down to the theatre, check the lighting, do her makeup. Maybe do a few rounds of rehearsals. That sort of thing.
Well, as JP there rightly pointed out, is it usual for the stars of the show to get delivered a bouquet of dead flowers?
Well, they're not normally dead. That's a little bit peculiar.
Oh, well, that seems mighty strange. And
better than a dead ferret that I had once, though.
Was that in some country, maybe village hall somewhere?
Well, yes, it was actually, yes.
And he says, and is this card? Is this any like theatre folk? I know you have your own parlance. Is this any particular well wishing? I know you can't say good luck. And there's a play we're not supposed to mention back here. Is it Macbeth? What happens if we mention Macbeth? Is that all right with you if I say Macbeth?
You can say that blasted name as many times as you like, because I am not an actor, dear. I am a magician. I do not bow to the same wasted shenanigans that those do.
Okay, I just thought, but is this some particular parlance on here? I don't know. Does it seem familiar to you, sir?
Well, no, I don't believe it does, really. I just assume it's some sort of funny Las Vegian saying.
No, it's certainly not one I've come across. I just assumed it was something to do with you strange theatre folk.
Well, yes. Much like, the misunderstanding of doves from you strange police folk.
And he goes, well, folks, you're free to look around. We're going to have to move the body soon, I'm afraid. Get it over to the medical examiner.
I forgot his last name. What's his last name again? Sergeant what?
Bertram.
Bartram.
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 Call him anything.
Oh,
Sergeant.
Sergeant Bartram. Benny.
Don't think there's much more we can get. We've had some photos.
Yeah, I haven't told him it's not photos because I thought he might get in trouble.
Okay, anything else?
would it be wise to wait for them to move the body to see if there's anything underneath it, seeing as we didn't do that earlier? Because we didn't actually go underneath the body or anything earlier, did we? So.
We didn't have time, really.
Hmm.
You're gonna wait for him to move the body?
Yeah, because he
If
doesn't.
there's anything
So
underneath.
he's not come across anything to do with this card or dead flowers before. I
No.
think we need to figure out where she lives next, really.
That'd be a good idea, yeah.
Has she got any ID on her?
Got Pierce.
Or like laid out on the table so that we don't have to go through a dead body?
Yeah. There would be a purse with like an ID card in.
Okay.
She's
So
a picture.
can I have a look at that?
Yeah, sure. It gives her name as. So there's a couple of things there. So like I say, there's an ID card, and then there's a membership card to this theatre group,
Okay.
the Old Alexandrians. It's just got her name, Erma Hardy, and then it has like it's got like a joining date, which is about a year ago. And then there's a place that's got her address on there.
That's good.
Okay.
What's her address?
It's Thane Avenue.
Okay.
Which anyone that's familiar with Las Vegas in the 1920s will know it's probably about 20 minutes away from the theatre.
Is your address
So many of us are familiar with Vegas in the 20s.
I was just thinking.
Sorry,
that.
sorry, Gary.
Is there an address for the Old Alexander Theatre Company?
Yes, and it's here. It's this theatre. It's the Twilight Enigma.
This is.
Theatre.
Oh, right, okay. Right, so we could do a list of members for that.
Okay. So who else is still left inside the theatre now then? Like other than, so obviously the police are in the room with us,
Yep.
and then there was the stage manager guy or the owner. He was
Yep.
there. But what are the other acts? Did they scarper after hearing the scream and realizing there was a dead body?
No,
or
no,
they
because
stuck
they're
around?
quite a close knit community, so they're still like this is something interesting that's happened.
Okay.
And then
Is
yes,
Cliff in the hallway still?
sorry.
Is Cliff still in the hallway?
Well, Cliff's about. He's probably in his office by now. Like
Right.
they're still going away and starting to pack down for the night.
Yeah, because he might know some bits and bobs. Meaning, is the owner?
Mm-hmm.
If we go out into the hallway, is there anyone that seems more distraught than the others?
Well, you got the young guy that went to get the coppers,
Okay.
Bobby Dillett. He's like hopping from foot to foot and looks. He's sort of sweeping up because he's sort of the general dog's body of the theatre, but he's not going far and keeps looking at the doorway.
How old is he?
Okay.
He's probably 18, round about there.
Anyone else of note?
No, there's a guy that looks a bit like Cliff, who you see is helping some musicians pack some instruments away. There's a couple of ladies with loads of makeup on that was some sort of act, and then there's two guys that looks like they were sort of a double act or something.
Okay.
So it's night time now
Yeah.
on this day, so
I may as well pack it in for the day. And kind of go to the newspaper tomorrow to have a quick look around there.
Well, I suppose if you require my help, I could be available before my show performance in the evening. You know, for old time's sake.
No doubt we'll need your expertise.
It's just like being back at the lake, isn't it?
You'll
Only...
find you'll get drawn into things like this now.
Can I ask
Only
you both?
Jeffrey. Oh, sorry.
Just, is there going to be any, you know, walking dead people?
Well, she hasn't got up yet, so I'm assuming not. We should be.
Well, we didn't think there was going to be at the lake, did we? And that yet there they were.
Yeah.
Might be.
I mean, to be fair, we never think there's going to be, and these things just happen. You never know.
Well, I suppose we'll wait and see what the fun of Vegas brings, shall we?
So Jeffrey, you've not been in Vegas long, and this is like your first paying job that you've had there. You're currently sleeping out the back of your truck.
Okay.
But you are due to collect your payment for the evening from the manager, should you wish.
Of
Although
course.
you're booked in for the rest of the week as the star attraction.
That's okay. I'm sure my rate will increase because of that.
And you did have to do a comedy performance as well, if you remember.
I did.
To satisfy the crowd for tonight.
Yes.
You stepped in at the last moment.
Oh, yeah. I do remember. Well, tell me, you three, where are you staying?
I assume at our museum's got lodgings in it.
You have apartments, yeah.
Yeah, above the museum.
We have our own apartment. You're all right.
Well, I wasn't inviting you back to my van, but it's good to know you're all catered for. Shall we meet you tomorrow then? I've got some business matters I need to attend to.
Do you need somewhere to stay?
Well, I've got my van. It would be nice if I could park it in an area where I know, you know, there's not going to be any hoodlums or anything
Well, we've
coming
got
around.
the museum and apartments, so you can park it there if you want to.
Wonderful, wonderful. If you give me your address, I'll move it over there. Make sure it's clear of any hedges, you know.
Will do. I don't know what it is, but I'll give it you.
Excellent.
Very good.
Okay. And then so unless those guys are doing anything else, I'd go over to Cliff and his office to get payment after that.
Yeah, so you go in and see Cliff, and he has a large, ornate glass decanter full of some really strong, dark amber liquid, and he's pouring it out, and he's sort of a bit shaky, and he's drinking from it, and he's like, Jeffrey, my man, well done. Thanks for stepping into the breach at the last minute. That was fine performance. One of the best performances I've seen ad-libbed for a long time. He says, I tell you what, he says, we agreed it'd be $10 for the night. He says, because you got us out of a tight spot, I'm willing to double that for you. And then we can negotiate tomorrow on rates for the rest of the week, if you like.
Oh, that sounds most generous of you, Cliff. Well, fantastic, yes.
And so he reaches into a drawer and he counts out the money and he puts it on the table for you.
Well, thank you very much. Don't suppose you have another drink going spare, do you? You know?
Of course I do. And again he reaches down to a deep drawer and pulls out like a crystal tumbler, and he pours out a generous measure of this nice liquid.
Excellent. I'm happy to make a roll, but just reading him, does he seem... It sounds ridiculous the more I play it through my head, but does he seem more shook up, bearing in mind there's been a murder in his theatre?
Okay, so we'll do that in two parts.
Okay.
Yes, he definitely seems very shook up.
Okay.
But you can also make me a psychology roll to see if there's anything else.
Okay. That. Oop. I don't know. 66. I'm not prepared to spend 26 luck to do that.
Do you want to push the roll?
I mean, for me to push the roll, I think I would have to get him more drunk and then just basically get it out of him in a drunken rant.
Yep. Is
Alright.
that something you're willing to do?
Why not? Why not? I can only drive my van into a hedge so many times. Whoop. Oh, that's even worse. That's fucking 88. Jesus.
Okay. So like you're convinced there's something else. It's the way he's holding himself. But maybe it's just shock, and you drink more and he drinks more, and then he gets very melancholy, and then it sort of turns to anger because you're pushing him on these, But Cliff, tell me what's up. What's really up? And he's like, God damn it, you stupid limey. He says, don't you know when to leave folk alone? And he stands up and he throws his glass against the wall and he goes, there's some things that you just shouldn't stick your nose into. Now get out before I change my mind about the rest of the week.
Well, that was a waste of bloody good crystal, wasn't it? Well, Cliff, I'll see you tomorrow, and maybe then you'll be prepared to talk to this limey, and he would tell him what's wrong. Say no more. No, don't look at me that way, Cliff. We've experienced
glass in his
We've
hand.
experienced this tonight, you and me. We've experienced this. This is a moment. We will look back on this fondly. But for now, let's let our emotions simmer. And I will see you tomorrow.
I go, it's not a simmer. I'm at the damn boil. You best get your ass out of here now.
And even though he's not got one, I'm going to pretend like I've got a cape and I'm going to be like, well, good night, sir.
Make me, because you're drunk,
Yes.
make me a dex roll.
All right.
If you go out with...
I mean, his dex is 35, so...
You're so ended up flat on your face.
Yes.
Yep, that's a 66 again. That's twice I've rolled 66 in my last 3 rolls.
Would you like to push that roll?
Well, I mean, yeah, sure, I'm drunk. Why not?
Brilliant.
Oh, that was amazing, though. That was 11. I'm using these dice from now on.
Brilliant. So you give the swish and you give a pirouette, and actually you do like a full 360 all the way. So it's not just 180 you do, you go all the way around. And then, so you do end up facing him, and you look a little bit quizzical at him for the moment, and then you like try and ride it out as if it was part of it, and then you do the 180 afterwards. So what, you've done a 720, is it? No? No, 720. You've spun 1.5 times.
I said good day, Cliff. No, walk out.
And you do manage to go out with a... You're showing these Americans.
Yes.
Okay, so you get to your battered truck.
Yep.
And you drive to the most haunted museum.
Yes.
And there's like a small dirt yard that's used as a car park. And for all they talk it up, this is fundamentally a 2-story wooden shack.
No, it isn't. It's a massive attraction. We get lots of revenue off it.
It's a 2-story wooden shack. But it's just a wooden bit. It's got like a bit of whitewash. Maybe the whitewash out the front needs neatening up a bit, but it's certainly decent enough accommodation. And there's an outside staircase that goes up to the apartments on the top.
Okay.
We sold tickets for them to come here, look at the museum. Sharon, can you wear some some cars outside, some drunken person smashing into the wall with a car.
I'll go and have a look
Because
at
I don't think they're fit to be driving.
So Jeffrey, you can sleep in your van. I'm guessing everybody else has gone to the apartment. You hear Jeffrey's vehicle turn up. And there's a lot of grinding of the gears. I mean, Synchromesh wasn't around in those days, but there's more so. And there's the occasional bump and crash.
Can I just do something while I'm there? Can I just go into my museum and just check on them papers to see if they're still there?
Oh gosh, you want to touch papers?
I want to just check.
I'm sorry, you mean burn those papers, right?
I'm going to say, while he's checking, can he take a lighter with him?
Well, I do believe that you didn't put those papers on display. You put them in a vault.
In a box, yeah.
No, you said in a vault. Definitely not on display.
I wanted to put them in a box where they couldn't be opened.
Yeah.
But I've got like a little name tag on it going like which papers.
But then you did specify they were locked away in a vault.
Oh, okay.
Outside.
So I can't get to them.
Not at the moment, no.
Great.
I think what we'll do there is we'll have a quick 5-minute break, if that's all right with everybody.
Yeah.
Quick natural break. So thanks everyone in chat. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly. We're just going to have a quick refresh.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Awesome. Bye.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back to the second instalment of our Twilight Curtain Call Call of Cthulhu evening. We have our usual cast of players here. But before we get to them, let them have a chance to introduce themselves yet again really briefly. Shout out to our sponsors as always. We've got Lost Boys Pizza, amazing pizza delivered nationally for you to cook yourself at home. So they're really cool. Monkey's Emporium. Check him out on Facebook. Every Friday he does an auction and there's loads of retro and vintage toys. He's amazing. If nothing else, just tune in for Johnny's entertainment because he's a character in himself. And Shade Glass Games. For us here in the East Midlands, it's our friendly local gaming store. So check them out for all your role play books. They'll pretty much get in anything, isn't that right, Ross?
Yeah.
As long as you ask nicely. And then Ross will want to have a game of it as well, just so he can check it out.
Oh, definitely.
So, but support your any of your friendly local gaming stores. And also thank you to Tabletop Audio for providing the background music that we've got and a bit of the ambience for tonight. Cool. So we have Bushy. Hey, Bushy. So
Good
Bushy's
evening.
playing Jeffrey Thurston, the magician.
The great, magnificent Thurston. Yes.
Then we got Ross. Ross is playing JP. Hey, Ross.
Hello.
Hope you enjoyed your break. And then we got Em. Hi, Em. You're playing Sharon. One half of the Most Haunted team.
Yeah.
And then the other 50% of that team is, of course, Gary playing Michael.
Hey, who's
Our
very
psychologist.
deluded about how much money he's making.
Well, he's got how he thinks it is in his mind, and that may not be how it is to the rest of the world. The books are selling well, but maybe the museum/shack isn't doing as well as you think it is.
We'll have to add a bit more in the books.
Yeah.
And come to the museum to see all the things that we've found.
And a few more books. I think.
Maybe do a 50% off token in one of the books.
Yeah. We'll do a signing in the museum.
Yeah, there you go. See, you did do the book tour, going to all the book shops, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was a fun. Cool. So before the break, you guys had spent some time at the Twilight Enigma Theatre. The friendly local policeman, Sergeant Bartram, has asked if you'll help him look into the murder of Erma Hardy.
And we can use his name.
Yeah, he was murdered just before she was due to go on stage, and it was all a bit spooky. So you then went and had a night's rest. So the new day dawns, and Michael, you go down and check your amazing museum in the wooden shack that it is.
I think I'm going to have to invest some money to this place. I mean, there's some very dangerous and very occult stuff here that I wouldn't want people just walking into a shack and taking.
We need a security man and everything, don't we?
Yes. I think we need another book tour.
Yeah.
While you're down there, you see Thurston's haphazardly parked vehicle in like the little square of wasteland that you have out the front that you call a car park. And then I guess Sharon and JP, you all arise, and it's a new day. So what would you like to do?
I think we'd like to go to the newspaper.
Yeah. All the ladies out, one or the other.
Can we start the day with breakfast?
No.
Breakfast and special coffee.
No, thank you.
Special coffee.
I've read about that.
Special coffees are whiskey and coffee, everybody.
No, they weren't. There was something far worse than just normal whiskey in those coffees that you keep alluding
What else
to.
was in there
Well, you're right. It was a moonshine in there, but it was something else that was in that special moonshine.
then? Oh. Do we
So-
have the special
I
coffee
definitely
then?
don't want any of that.
So, Jack. So, hey, Jack. Thanks for coming back. Jack may remember a scenario that we started called Blackwater Creek, and I can confirm to Jack and Gary played in that as well that those special coffees had moonshine in that was brewed in Blackwater Creek.
Yeah.
It is definitely not somewhere you want to be going.
I spent some time in the asylum for that. I distinctly remember spending many months
Yes.
in an asylum because of that.
Why did that's where all our
I
money
think
went?
they figured my face, if I remember correctly, as well.
And as Jax pointed out, it made his character handsome again, as it healed up all his hideous scars that he had. Cool.
It did to me, but then it changed and made it worse.
Pustules erupted from your skin.
I had to spend a lot of time in hospital.
So,
On that note, no, I don't want any special coffee.
but Sharon keeps trying to peddle this special coffee.
Yeah, what happened? Like, why are you this, like, Blackwater Creek coffee peddler?
She's a cultist.
I just like me alcohol, I think. I think she's a bit of an alky. With all the things they say, that's like cope.
Or, as we say, that's art imitating life.
She's a bit of a cultist. If you look into her hair. No, the other side. Other side. yeah, look.
Oh.
There you. Gary hasn't let me do anything yet, though. You got a sprite for me, aren't you, Gary?
I mean, it's not more obvious than that, is it? She's walking around with a symbol of Cthulhu in her hair. Cool.
Anyway,
so,
yeah.
You get breakfast. It's not a problem. You've got some little burners instead of stoves in your apartments above your wooden shack.
Okay, so
Just because I like torturing Gary and making it even more rundown than he imagines.
Oh.
it's gonna be better. It's gonna be better. We've got a movie coming out. We've got to be getting some money.
Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah. So, what do you think then? Do you think we should go to the newspaper and have a look at some of the buildings, what it used to be, or do you think we should go to a house?
Well, that's what I was going to say. How?
Why
how
don't
far
we
away
split
are they
up?
from each other? Yeah.
No, we don't want to split up. It doesn't want us to split
It
up.
never works out in films, does it?
You
No.
guys can do whatever you like.
Is one on the way to the other, or are they
No.
in separate?
Oh, of course they're in separate ways.
It's just one way and one the other.
Yeah.
What's Jeffrey's plans for the morning? Does he need to go back to the theatre?
No. The
No?
first thing for Jeffrey to do is to find something to take the edge off this headache. So maybe if you could all just talk that little bit quieter.
So let's go to the newspaper. Be quiet there. Is it a newspaper we're going? Yeah.
I don't think you've been to many newspaper places if you think they're quiet.
No, so I meant to look at old newspapers. Would that be like a library then?
The newspaper would have an archive. Unfortunately, at the moment,
It's burnt down.
no, Vegas in the 1920s didn't have much in the way of federal buildings, so there is no library.
Right. Okay. So we can go to the newspaper though.
Yeah, you'd have to travel to Carson City to find a library.
Okay. What's your library skill like,
Mhm.
Sharon?
Well, someone's going to have to library use. Don't forget, library use, you don't fail, it just takes longer.
55.
55. So is mine. So one of us should go to the library and the rest should go to the house because we're going to spend the day in the library.
Remember, there is no library, though. You mean the newspaper?
I
Newspaper.
don't think we should split up.
We're going to have to.
Well, me and you can't split up. We both go to the library and then two can go to the house.
So, Sharon, Michael, I've been following you around for a while now and observing you so that I can get this nailed down. And I think I've picked up some of your techniques. how about you two head off and leave this to me? Let this be my first attempt at taking notes for you, so that you can add them into your book, and I'll take good old Jeffrey here with me, and I'll keep it down and nice and quiet for you. Don't worry. And we'll go and check out her apartment.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Take lots of notes then.
Do you have one of those?
We'll be marking it.
Do you have one of those camera thingies you like to take photos with all the time? A spare one for me?
Have I got spare cameras, Gary?
Well, I don't think we've got a kettle in this place.
Well, Michael certainly has a camera in his bag of chicks.
Yeah,
Michael can make a luck roll if you want a spare camera.
Oh, it looks not very high though. Oh yeah, 6. Yeah, definitely.
Amazing! You do have a spare camera.
There you go.
Wait, look.
I've just realised this is only my garage. The entire museum's next door.
It's not.
I love it when the boy comes of age, seeing this perfect moment of the sun stepping out of the shadows of the parents. If my head didn't hurt so much, I'd say this was a moment to share a drink.
Remember, you're on stage tonight with knives.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it fun, dear fellow.
You had a lucky escape last night. Never mind doing it again tonight.
Don't worry, Jeffrey. I'll look after you.
I'm taking it you're in the apartment having all this.
Yeah.
So you hear the doors to your museum open up at this point. You hear someone unlock it and open it for business.
So we can get downstairs.
Have we got a worker then?
Has he got what?
Have we got a worker?
Oh, you got someone that looks after the museum, yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay then. What is that?
You mean you don't know who you've got working for you at your museum?
No doubt we're going to find out when we go downstairs.
Yeah, so you go downstairs and you see
Michael employs everybody.
you see little Jimmy
I do all the
Sanders.
writing.
Jimmy Sanders.
Little Jimmy Sanders putting out the sandwich board, saying spooktacular exhibits at the most haunted museum, and he's just going and putting it on the main street, and he sees you and he goes, "Oh, morning sir, didn't realise you'd be about this morning."
How you doing, Jimmy?
Morning, Jimmy.
I'm good. All right, ma'am. Yep, really good.
Is business
Jimmy.
good?
Our business is brilliant, sir. Brilliant. I'm packed all day.
Oh,
Jimmy,
brilliant. That's just what we need.
Have you got any really good ideas to bring in more people?
Well, I'm not sure what ideas I could give you. I mean, I'm so busy and rushed off my feet all the time. I don't have time to think. We're awfully
You must
sorry.
have your feet.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah. All the people visiting. I've got to make sure the stuff's safe. So I watch them when they go round. Like Mr. Michael said, got to have a keen eye. Don't want any of this stuff going missing.
No,
You
did
just
you receive
follow
the
them
new stuff
around
we
then.
sent?
Yeah. I received the new stuff. I'm just not sure where in the exhibits you'd like it to go.
Well,
sir,
that quill needs to be very secure. No one can touch that. We need that.
Okay.
And that eye stalk. Get that in some, I don't know what it's called. Liquid that we put it in.
That needs to go in the vault.
Do you want it to go in one of the big bell jars of formaldehyde, sir?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I can arrange that. I know a guy at the hospital that can.
Brilliant. And I'm
Yeah,
also
so-
going to have to look into my vault.
Oh, the vault. Okay.
Yeah. I need,
Yeah.
I need to check on the papers.
You'll have to go to the bank then for that, sir.
The bank.
Yeah.
Right, okay. For some reason, I put it in the bank.
That's where the vault is, where all the really precious stuff is, sir.
Okay.
Oh, I thought the vault would be at the museum.
So did I.
Who would keep a vault at a museum?
Me.
That's
To
what
make
I
sure no
thought
one
it
can
was.
take it.
Bank's the best place for vaults,
I
sir.
took him to the museum. Put him in the vault.
Mind you, we've not got nothing in this museum. I don't think we'd have a vault.
I don't know, sir. I mean, when you did come with those papers, you did seem mightily confused. So
Yeah.
you weren't yourself.
I've not been feeding myself a couple of days.
Oh.
There's not been no suspicious characters keep turning up, has he?
No, sir. No. Just the usual clientele.
That's
People
okay.
visiting Vegas.
Just
Nice
the
to-
usual suspicious characters.
When
Like
when
yourselves.
we was on a book tour, we had somebody come interested in some of the papers. I was just wondering if they've been hanging around, checking us out.
No one like that's been around, sir. No.
Good.
But I say rushed off my feet all the time. I am so.
Okay. That's what we like to hear. You'll be getting a pay rise at the end of the month.
Oh, amazing. Do you have the accountancy skill?
Accountancy. 5%.
You can make me an accountancy roll.
At 5%. 5.
Yeah.
18. Ooh. I ain't got the luck to burn though.
Are you sure?
Well, I've got 37 luck left, and if I go below 35, I ain't coming back.
Push that roll.
Push
Push that roll.
push it.
I
Oh.
can't push it. There's no way I'm going to get under 5.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, it's an accountancy roll.
Okay, I like it. I'll put my glasses on.
Okay,
67.
67. I mean, so you're there, you're sort of hanging around, and you look at the books, and like the attendance records seem all really good. This is all quality. Yeah, no, nothing.
And all
for
the money's
suspicion.
accounting.
Yep,
Yep. brilliant.
definitely.
We may have to go to the bank to talk about investing more into the museum.
I think we have.
You guys are getting fleeced.
Well, there's something going on, isn't there? Who's our agent? We'll have a word with them.
Do you want them to get someone in to audit you? Is that
Yes,
what you're saying?
we definitely need somebody to come and have a look at the book.
Well, no, your suspicions aren't aroused, as far as you're aware. These all look top-notch books. You're really
You're
proud of
accounting
the
at
work
5.
of the work Jim is doing. That's why you hired him, right?
Yeah.
Plus, do you two really want someone auditing you?
But yeah, Sharon, is yours at 5 as well?
Yeah, it's the same.
Great. Well, we're happy as Larry then, so we're off. Look after the place. Keep getting that money for me.
Yeah.
Sure will, sir. Busy every day. It is busy every day. I struggle to get all the normal chores done. You know, I'm rushed off
I
my feet. I am.
suspect he's lying.
You've got no reason to believe he's lying. Right. So, who was going to the newspaper then?
Me and Sharon.
Okay. So in that case, we'll go to the apartment first.
Yeah.
We'll go
Could take it
to
all day.
yeah. Erma Hardy's apartment.
I assume I'm driving, given Jeffrey's fragile state.
Are you driving Jeffrey's vehicle then?
Yeah, go on then.
And is that okay with Jeffrey?
It's
Bear in mind he is hungover.
no,
Can have
it's
a nap.
fine as long as you treat him right. You have to caress him before you decide to just plough straight forwards, you know?
And that's true, Jeffrey. So we're gonna need one of those rare rolls, which is a drive autos roll, because Jeffrey is quite an eccentric character. He's got an eccentric vehicle that takes a bit of knack to drive. You know, it was a jalopy when you first came across it, and it's been a little while since that, and it's been in a hedge for some of that time, and it's had sort of a botched repair job as well. So
Who moved it to the hedge? Wasn't Jeffrey.
He was counting it.
And
It was in the middle of the road. You needed it moving to one side.
can Jeffrey get it started for me?
Oh no, it started. It's running. It's just as you're driving down the street. You've confidently jumped in there. You're a stuntman after
I
all.
am.
You're like, I've got this.
Has it got a big crank?
I needed a 20. I rolled a 26. So I'm going to burn 6 luck.
Oh, I know Jack will be really upset that you're burning the luck and not pushing the
Rather
roll.
than pushing, I know.
So drive
Jack's also
auto
on a mission
roll.
to try and kill us all, so...
Yeah, what could go wrong pushing a drive auto roll? Yeah.
Nope. So yeah, I'll burn the 6 luck.
Cool. So 6 luck burn. So yeah, you start to get the knack. This is not what you'd have expected. This is an old rickety vehicle. Like you're pressing pedals and flicking switches, and not a lot seems to be happening. The steering's what you would call on the light side, as in you're doing a lot of this, but it's staying straight. But it looks impressive as you're driving along doing this until you come to a corner and actually need to turn. Cool. So you guys get to Erma Hardy's, and it's an apartment. It's in a building block. It's like a 3-story building. And there's like a landlady there because she'd let out this apartment. So you can go and knock on the door.
Jeffrey, I've found that after following them around for a little while, the best way to approach these things is with a little bit of charm and finesse. So I'll let you do this. I mean, I'm more one for kicking doors in, so I'll let you talk away in.
Yes, I heard the stories of you at the lake where you just decided to make a rather unusual maneuver, let's say. Well, okay, very well. I will walk up and...
Yep. So you can go into the first door, and yeah, there's the old lady, and there's a sign. It says Worthing's Tenements, and sure enough, there's this old lady there. And she's like, "Oh, you're right, dears. I'm afraid I'm all booked up."
I thought you meant there was a sign on the old lady there. And I was like, wow. It's just like...
No vacancies. No vacancy in this old lady.
Well, that
strictly no entry.
is perfectly... I'm ignoring everything you're saying, Keeper. This is a perfectly good reason, madam. It looks like you run a very fine establishment.
Oh, that I do.
We are here to see a Miss Hardy.
Well, the thing is, my clientele here, they pay for a certain level of privacy. I'm not saying I cater to the stars, but I cater to the stars. But I didn't say that.
Well,
but I cater to the stars.
Madam,
You don't like the stars, I cater to them.
Yes, I completely understand what you're saying, but I'm afraid you're missing on the biggest star that's about to hit Vegas. Now, if you've not seen in the Twilight Theatre...
Oh, that new build place, yes?
Yes, the great, magnificent Thurston. He was the magician that played there last night. Well, he stole the show.
Oh, I didn't get there last night. I was unable to see it, I'm afraid.
Well, he's there for the rest of the week.
I will await the write-up in the Las Vegas Sun then.
Yes, I have heard the Sun is a most irreputable newspaper.
Yes, definitely.
So, I needless to say, I feel like we're getting somewhat off topic. Madam, it is most important that we see Miss Hardy. We are friends of hers. Well, I am a friend of hers. I was working with her yesterday. She's not turned up for rehearsals, and I feel that if I could just take 5 minutes of her, and I'm going to slip $5 on the table whilst I say 5 minutes. I'm going to say it would be most appreciated, and long term, I genuinely think she would thank you.
Oh, well, I mean, that is awfully generous of you. I mean, a lot of people that I cater to who have a deal of stardom They know that Mrs. Worthing's worth is worth a lot. So, I tell you what, this is strange. This thing seems to be stuck to the table. Maybe if there was something else on top of it, perhaps make it slide a bit easier.
I want to, if she's got her hand on top of it, I want to put my hand on top of hers, and then so a magic trick like I'm pulling money through her hand.
Brilliant. You are going to have to make me a
That's fine.
magical performance roll for your specialist skill, stage magic.
Oh, yes. That is an extreme success by 2 points.
Brilliant. So yeah, she's like, oh, well, it appears I do have a star in front of me. So are you interested in some accommodation then?
Well, I think once we have seen Ms. Hardy's room and I know what to expect, I can make a decision.
Okay,
But...
I'll tell you what. She takes up the room. She goes, I'll go and open it up, and you can see all the rooms are the same. So yeah, I guess if you look around Miss Hardy's, then you'll get a feel for the place.
Excellent. And I'm very sorry. What was your name?
Worthings, Mrs. Worthings, sir.
Mrs. Worthings.
Yes.
You're definitely an original, and I'm going to kiss her hand.
She goes, oh, such a gentleman. We don't get many of those. You've set my heart aflutter, sir.
I'm just going to write that one down.
And so she leads you to like a on the first landing. There's a room, and you can see that it says Miss Erma Hardy, and she takes out this big set of keys and she rattles it a bit, and then she goes, Miss Hardy, are you in? Are you in? Oh, I'm afraid the door's open, miss. I'm just going to let these gentlemen in. Okay. And then she opens the door, and then she goes, I'll leave you gents to it then.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Worthing.
Oh, such a charmer.
As we walk in, I'm going to look at JP and go, I hope you made notes on that.
A lot of notes. Well done, Jeffrey. You seem to have quite a good knack for this. Are you sure you haven't worked with those two before, the most wanted crew, Sharon and Michael?
I feel like I would remember them if I'd have experienced them more than just the lake.
Oh, okay. So, normally when we enter a room, what I've picked up from those two is photograph everything and cover up mirrors for some reason. So, which probably, whilst I take some photos, can you cover up any mirrors?
He doesn't know why we cover up the mirrors.
Have you, JP, have you ever looked into one of these mirrors to understand why they cover them over?
No, it's happened ever since I met them, so I think it's part of their method.
Interesting. JP, if they were to walk off cliffs every time that you met them, would you also follow that advice?
It is written in my contract, unfortunately, so yes.
It's stipulated.
Well, this is useful to know. I would suggest never going against me now that I know your Achilles heel.
Excellent. So, there's about 3 or 4 mirrors in the apartment, which you can spend some time covering up.
I am completely ignoring whatever nonsense JP is doing for covering up mirrors and stuff. And, I mean, he's not really an investigator, so he's just looking for stuff that he thinks is kind of out of the ordinary or interesting.
Yep.
So, there's like about 3 rooms. So, there's like a living area with like a kitchenette, and then there's a bathroom and a separate bedroom. So you poke through. There's a lot of accumulated actors paraphernalia. So there's many old scripts tossed to one side. There's a wardrobe with old costumes in. And there's lots of newspaper clippings about performances that she's been in. So you can make a spot hidden. I guess both of you can make these rolls just to see if you can find.
Can I just? I mean, I will make a. I may work with. Can't even speak now. I will make one separately. However, I feel like Jeffrey would be like trusting JP, given that this really isn't his kind of shtick. So at most, Jeffrey would be like, "So what about this, JP? What about this, JP?"
And you could end up coming across something accidentally.
Yeah.
Well, JP being the understudy as such, rolled a 2.
Okay.
So I've photographed everything.
Yep.
And what's caught my eye?
So what has caught your eye is there's a couple of newspaper articles. So the first one, I just need to get this right, is... Okay, the first one is dated October the 30th, 1924. So Thursday, the October the 30th, 1924. And it appears to be a critic is writing about a play that's coming soon.
Thanks very much, Brooks. Sorry to interrupt.
Brooks.
We just got a follow.
No, that's cool. Thanks, Brooks 729. And it appears to be about a play opening in a theatre called the Obelisk Theatre in Las Vegas. And whilst the critic hasn't seen this show, they've made it clear that they've been released information by the troupe of actors, which were called... I'm going to go back through my notes now. The Alexandrian Acolytes.
Okay.
And there's a photo of them, and Erma Hardy is definitely featured in there, as is the manager of the current theatre, Cliff. So you recognise both of them in it. And there's a dozen different actors and actresses in this clipping, and it talks about this is going to be an exciting show. It's the like of which has never been attempted before, and it's a show called Tales of Yellow, and it's like a compilation play of lots of different gathered tales, and it's having its premiere on Saturday the 1st of November 1924.
You know, in this photograph, can they
Yep.
see what they're wearing?
No, so they're just dressed smartly. They're not in costume because the critic hasn't seen the play.
So
Okay.
the critic hasn't seen the play. He's been fed information from the Alexandria Acolyte
Theatre troupe.
Yeah. And it's the exciting show Tales of Yellow. Okay.
And then the next newspaper clipping is dated Friday the 31st of October. And these are both from the Las Vegas Sun. And so, yes, Friday 31st of October 1924. And it talks about a fire at the Obelisk Theatre, which has gutted it. It doesn't mention much more at that point. Just says the fire's being investigated.
Okay. Does it say by who?
By the police.
By the
fire
yep,
department.
okay.
Yep.
It was burnt down by the police.
It was burnt down by the fire department. We're
All
going
right.
for a backdraft plot here.
Nice.
It was the old firefighter.
They're causing the supply and demand. I like it. It's good.
The next thing you find is a script with handwritten notes in the margins detailing the actors' names, and it's for the Tales of Yellow.
Okay.
And this will take some time to study and get the names, but you just, because you'd read about the Tales of Yellow in the newspaper article, like it's quite a tatty script, so it's been thumbed through a lot. Erma Hardy is definitely one of the names next to the characters.
Okay. Can I read through the script?
It'll take you a while.
I mean, with me being a
You know what our
stuntman / actor, surely it doesn't take me as long because I'm familiar with the script.
No, it will, because it's quite a complicated play, made up of many parts.
Oh.
You get that. So you could. It would require you to spend like all of the morning and quite a sizable amount of the afternoon sat in this apartment, which you've only just been let into.
If only you'd have gone to the newspaper to read all these newspaper clippings.
I think I'll pocket the script to take back with me to read at a later date.
Okay.
But I am also aware that taking papers out of places is never a good thing.
Well, that's interesting because Michael has a book that he's not bothered reading yet, that he pocketed from a previous adventure, which he might want to read at some point. It's entirely up to him.
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the newspaper clippings, and Jeffrey's managed to find the scripts and hold them up for me as well.
Yeah.
Anything else while he's cycling through?
No, that's pretty much it. That's the only things of any use in there.
Jeffrey, you can stop now. I think it's okay. You don't need to pick up that vase. It's fine.
Are you sure? I mean, she got dead flowers. They could be, and he's holding it up and looking in. I think there's something. Oh no, it's just a worm. It's just a worm. Honestly, JP.
You have a sit down for 5 minutes. Clear that head of yours.
No,
think it's
I
okay now.
feel quite fine actually.
Cool.
It's
So
quite exciting, isn't it? All this.
Well, fine now.
we will go over to the newspaper offices then. So the offices of the Las Vegas Sun. It's quite a busy place. People coming in and out. There's a front desk with a lady sat there as like a receptionist. She's middle-aged, but she's got bright eyes, sort of friendly face. She's very interested in everyone that's coming in. Lots of people are like saying "Morning, Mary," "Morning, Morning, Mary" as they're walking past, and she's just happily letting them go past and having a bit of a chit chat with the occasional one.
Morning, Mary.
Oh, hello, dear.
Hi.
She's got a similar voice to Mrs. Worthing's.
We're the most haunted team.
Most Haunted? I've not heard of Most Haunted.
Have you not heard of us before?
No, I know there's a Most Haunted
Yeah.
museum down the road, but I've not heard.
Haunted.
Oh, you're the
We're
Most
the most
Haunted.
haunted team.
Oh, I'm a big fan.
You have to excuse me, my accent makes it go a bit funny now.
Oh yes, where is that accent from? It's very hard to place.
Oh, it's quite away from here.
Okay.
We're doing research on the next book, and we're wondering if we can have a look in the archives.
Well, what's the next book on?
Happenings in Las Vegas are to be.
Oh, is there spooky things going on? I mean, because I've got a sense for these things. And then she like leans over and she goes, you know, I write the horoscopes for the paper, right?
Oh.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Would you like a reading? I can give
Where
you.
do you get your insights from?
Well, I don't want to give away my trade secrets, but it's lots of talismans and stuff. But you don't need to bother with that. I've got the sight. Inherited it from my grandmother. I did.
That's awesome. I also had the sight.
Oh,
I did have.
and what happened to it?
It died.
And then she goes, "Oh, hang on, dear," and she reaches out and touches your hand, and she goes, "Oh, yes, I can tell. Oh, a friend has recently moved on, haven't they? A friend has gone to the light.
Wow.
But it's okay. Sam is happy now. Does that mean anything to you?"
A lot.
He's awesome.
This is all. Yeah. Can you give us a reading?
Oh, well, I just have. I gave you that one for free. So.
No. I mean, the horoscope. What's going to happen tomorrow?
And she says, "Oh, well, I tell you what. I'll need you to drink a cup of tea. Would you like to come out to one of the offices?
Yes, please, because we need to have some papers.
We can have tea. Takes you out to an office. He gives you both a cup of tea with proper tea with tea leaves, and then she drinks. And then she says, "You need to swirl it 3 times, and then turn it upside down and put the cup in the saucer like that. And then I shall read the tea leaves for you." So, who wants to go first? Who wants to handle their cup first?
Me.
Okay. So she takes yours and she flips it over and she goes. Right, I've got it. And then she puts it down and she goes, I can see that you're going to meet soon a tall, dark stranger, my dear. Yes. Very tall, very strange stranger. And if you're not careful, he will take your breath away. That's all I've got.
Like, literally take my breath out my body. You were like,
And then she takes the next cup.
You're
So,
going to see a grim in mine.
okay. So she takes your cup and she does the same. She goes. Ooh! And she gives like a little squeal and then she puts it down and she goes, I can see you're a curious type, aren't you? She says,
always investigating.
Yeah, she says, you mustn't look for signs because they will haunt your dreams. That's all I've got.
Thank you very much. Very insightful.
can we ask you if there's anything dodgy been going on around here?
Anything dodgy?
Or do you feel anything out of place with your feelings?
Oh, I only get it from the tea leaves and the occasional flashes from when I touch people. So,
Anybody interested?
no.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, you've just had 3 readings. Fundamentally.
Would you like a free book signed?
Oh, yes, please.
There you go.
I'm a big fan. She's very happy. Because so I believe you wanted the archives. I can show
Yes,
you where
please.
the archives are.
Yes, I forgot why we went there then.
she takes you to a room, and it's like this long dark room with like shelves and shelves and shelves of boxes that are dated, and they're all newspaper archive copies.
And we can look specifically for the building, theatre.
Not really. They're organised by date, not by topic.
We ain't got any dates.
No, you haven't.
Everything, the dates are where they are. We don't know.
See, you've had some hints on dates. You can make me library use rolls.
Will I ever go as well? Or just
Yeah. You can both make me library use rolls. So although it's not organised how you would expect,
No, I'm 10 off.
okay. You don't want to push it or burn luck.
No, don't do it.
Are you passed?
Yeah.
There we go.
I got 32, and I need to get a 65. So
Okay.
is that an extreme plan?
It's a hard
Or just
hard
under?
success. So, like Michael goes off and just starts randomly pulling out boxes from shelves and just going, nothing. Nothing. And then you remember that like a couple of years ago had been mentioned sometimes. So you look at like 2 years back, and so you start looking 2 years from the date and start moving. You go either side of it, and eventually, after like an hour and a half, you come across the clipping dated Friday, October the 31st, 1924, and it's talking about the burning down of a theatre
Yeah,
called the Obelisk Theatre.
I believe.
And so this is a slightly different clipping that you've got because it's the archives. There's also notes of stuff they could have written about attached to it, and you see that there's a photograph, and there's a photograph of a burnt down theatre, and it's like from the outside, and you can see that it's the same place that the Twilight thingamy is. Hang on, what they call it? The Twilight Enigma Theatre.
That's the theatre that we
Yeah,
went
yeah.
to.
So the Twilight Enigma Theatre is on the grounds that the Obelisk Theatre once inhabited.
Does
And
it
this
say
is-
what's happened there and stuff?
No. So there's bits about you can see like scribbled in the notes, and it's like arson ? Two deaths, and then it's like ... like it's awaiting, and they're like await further confirmation.
Obviously, I call Michael over at the beginning and we read through it together. So
Okay.
he knows all the information at the same time.
Yep.
Can we look for like the obituaries from around that time? See if anybody was in the fire.
Yeah, or missing.
Yeah, so you could look at. Well, the trouble is, there's none of the obituaries necessarily state how the people died. They're very functional, and it's just like names and dates they died.
Oh, we would find anything like this certain person miraculously survived, and we can.
No, so
Somebody we don't know.
because this is a bit odd. It's like it's then there's no more reference to the Obelisk Theatre fire. Maybe the story was forgotten about, or they decided not to pursue it any further.
And what was the lady's name we met at the beginning? I forgot her name now.
Mary.
Mary.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's been working here long. She might remember it. Because you could charm her to death.
You also, around the same time, so this is like the fall of 1924, so this is September, October. You
Yep.
can see that some of the newspapers are carrying adverts for the Obelisk Theatre. So it looks like it had variety performances, and then there's some really big page spreads talking about coming soon, Tales of Yellow, premiere performance 1st of November 1924. Join the Alexandrian acolytes in their extravaganza performance.
That play, the Tales
Yeah.
of Yellow, is quite popping up a lot, isn't it?
Can we spend some time looking for more references to Tales in Yellow or the acolytes themselves?
I mean, you can. It will probably take you most of the day.
That's what we're thinking. We're going to spend the day here anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So we will come back to you then.
Okay, we're just going to have a coffee.
Yeah.
We'll have a look.
Special coffee.
Coffee. Okay, so guys at Erma Hardy's apartment, flat, room. What would you like to do?
Well, you said we've got everything from there, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think I want to go back and talk to Bobby at the theatre. But it all depends whether Jeffrey needs to go to the theatre or not. Do you need to go and get prepped ready for this evening, Jeffrey?
well, what time of the day is it? Is it still relatively early?
Yeah. So you guys are probably late morning. Probably getting on for 11 to half 10, 11 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's like, well,
That is a good point. I've just got to bring this up because Alfie's mentioned it. So it's less apartment, more boudoir, because she was a very successful actress. So it's very gaudy.
Oh, okay.
Oh dear.
A
Okay.
chaise-longues.
Yeah, lying on the chaise longue.
Yeah. Discarded stockings hanging over various pieces of furniture.
Jeffrey, I don't need a photo of them stockings. Put them down. We've got everything.
But I think they look very good on my head.
Unless you can incorporate them into a magic trick, you can leave them here.
Well, I'm pretty sure I could incorporate anything into a magic trick should I try hard enough.
I mean, you can make a stage magic roll if you think you can come up with something.
Well, that wasn't what was asked. God. In answer to your original question, JP, I don't have to go to the theatre right away. However, should you want to speak to Bobby, it may also be a nice idea to speak to Cliff. Maybe he's a little bit less grouchy now about about the Obelisk Theatre that was this
Mentioned,
built in
yeah.
the same place?
See, you're picking this up very, very quickly, Jeffrey. Let's go.
Brilliant. So you guys head to the theatre. The Most Haunted crew are still rifling through newspaper clippings. So you get to the obelisk. So what do you want to do? So you're at the backstage area. Actually, yeah. So because you're behind the stage, it's sort of murky because not many people are there doing any work. Make me spot hidden rolls.
Ooh, man. Spot hidden. Oh, man, I ain't going to see anything.
Normal success, but just.
Normal success. Cool.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'm 2 away from a hard success. So a
Okay.
regular.
Regular successes are still fine. So you're going in and you look at it, and it is a bit dark and murky. And then you hear something above you. So you look up, and you can just make out in the darkness there's a figure running across the boardwalk at the top. And it's sort of overly theatrical. They've got a long black cloak billowing behind them. And their feet seem a lot lighter than they should be for running on these boards. And there is a ladder going up if you wish to ascend to the boardwalk.
Are they doing anything other than just being very light on their feet and running about?
No, that's all you can see that they're doing. But there's nobody else backstage currently. And it's sort of the black cloak.
All right. JP, look at that.
Oh, that's odd. Is he part of your troupe?
I don't know, but I do know that as a stuntman, you'd be trained at falling from great heights. So up you go.
Okay, I'm gonna go after him.
So it's just you going up? Yep, okay.
Yep. Oh, hold this camera. I can't break it. I don't want to get told off.
No problem. I'll see if there's any more stockings to take photos of.
So have you got a climb? Let's see.
Yeah, there's climb.
Yep.
Yeah, make me a climb roll then.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See how quickly you get up there. It's not as to if you're going to fall.
Okay.
It's a decent ladder for stagehands to use. It's more about the speed that you get up there.
First was a fail.
Okay. Are you going to? Well, I mean, we can ask chat if you should push
No,
it. Or
not asking chat. That just means I'm taking my time.
Push the roll. Push the
No,
roll.
my climb's only 20.
Push the roll.
push, 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 push. Alf is saying push.
Oh, go on then. I'll push it.
Jack's saying if you don't do it, you've got no balls.
I made it.
No way.
19.
19, just. Chat's come through for you.
See?
So,
Slides up them ladders.
thank you,
I won't
Alfie and
hesitate to
Jack.
push the next roll now. That's it.
So you scurry up there, like you've been trained in this.
I know what I'm doing.
Everyone's gutted that you can't.
Like the rat up the proverbial drain pipe.
Yeah, like the dirty rat that you are. And you get on the boardwalk and you can see the guys, this figure's in front of you with this black cloak billowing. And you give chase. And then they turn to face you. And I believe we've got a picture we can put up on the screen.
Can I look at the floor before they face me?
Nope. Too late. And it's a gentleman in a black cloak, very theatrical, and he has a mask covering his face.
With the upper mask.
You can think that if you like. It's a mysterious, it's like a white mask with no features on, and it has yeah, chat says oh shit. And there's just 2 black pits for eyes, and they lock onto you.
Okay.
And can you make me a sanity check, please?
No. I failed that.
Okay.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Can you roll me, because I forgot to grab my dice and I can't bother to get off. Can you roll me a D8, please?
Oh God! Wait, am I choosing my own feat?
You
now?
are the master of your own downfall here. Yeah.
Or
It
did
was
you
a
get
5?
a 5? You have lost 5 sanity points.
Oh no!
5 in
I
one
meant it was a
go.
1.
All in one go. Which means you need to see what happens now. So
Oh, I said a 1, didn't I?
I was hoping for the 8, but the 5 is still suits my purposes. So yeah, these eyes lock onto you, and it's instant, like waves of fear hit you, and you're unable to avoid this gaze, and it just like burns into your soul. But also, like it completely overtakes your senses, and you see a lake in front of your eyes, like in your mind. There's this lake, and there's 2 suns on the horizon, and you hear the gentle water lapping on the shore of this lake. And there in front of you is a splendid stone city.
Okay.
And now you need to make an intelligence test. I mean, it would really suck if you get a fear of heights about now.
I failed.
Which is good. You want to
good.
fail that.
Yes.
So you're just like, oh, this must be some crazy stage trick that they've got going on.
Okay.
And then you blink, and the figure in front of you seems to melt into the shadows and is gone.
Okay.
Sharon, I hope that this JP is taking some good photographs of things that he finds, and not just left his camera with somebody else.
I hope he doesn't break the camera.
You guys have just basically got photos of my feet.
The stockings.
In stockings, yes. Not empty stockings, pictures of my feet in stockings.
Okay. Where he's melted off to in the shadows or anything like that, can I go over there and have a look to see if there's anything, like, has he dropped anything? Is there anything like residue or anything like that?
So there's, I'm not going to make you roll. Yeah, I've just seen what else is put.
Yeah. Maybe.
Sorry.
If yeah, I'll have to see what the price is going at. See if I can sort my subscriptions out.
That's going to be the background for next week.
So there is a smell of smoke.
Okay.
Oh, like
So
the
he's left a
ladies.
smell of smoke.
Yep. Like burnt timber, charred timber smoke.
But there's no charred timber around me, so.
Nope. All of it is shadows.
Okay. What would JP do now? Can I walk further into the shadows?
Yeah.
Okay.
and that you can feel your way along the board, and then it just ends at a wall, and there's a ladder down that side.
And is this still part of the... So if I look over, can I still see Jeffrey?
Yeah. So he's sort of behind you and down. So
Okay,
yeah, imagine it's like that. So
I'll
it's
go
ladder up,
down
ladder
that.
up.
I'll go down that ladder then.
Yep. You're
And then
effectively the other side of the backstage area.
Jeffrey, did you see anyone come down here?
Yes, you.
No, other than me, Jeffrey.
No. Should I?
Well, that shadowy figure has vanished.
Did you get a look at his face? Maybe I know him from the trade, you know?
Or his feet.
You never
wearing boots.
you never ask for their feet up front, man. You have to work on it. You don't just go in cold for the feet. Come on.
Don't go in cold feet.
No, he was wearing a mask.
Well, there are some stage magicians that wear masks, I suppose. Was it good? Was it a big puff of smoke? Was it lights?
No, there was a definite smell of smoke, but he just seemed to vanish, or like as if he'd melted, or there was nothing there. So I followed it across and came down this ladder. I mean, were you taking photos? Or
Yeah. Oh, I've got some splendid photos. Yes. I think your parents will be most interested to see the evidence we have captured.
Definitely. Front cover.
I've told you before, they're not my parents.
I'm sorry. It just seems like such a convenient setup to me.
So, I'm unsure what to make of this. There's a definite smell of smoke in the air. I think we should...
Well, it sounds like you've encountered one of the expert magicians, I would say. To leave no trace is rather clever.
Do you use those kind of tricks?
Well, if I had the right smoke pellet, I suppose, you know. Watch me. I find myself I work better with props, you know?
Did it look the same?
Not quite what I was going for, Jeffrey, but okay. Maybe we should go and talk to Cliff about this.
Sounds very sensible. If he's around, sure.
Yes.
His office is this way.
Okay. Have you two made up? There was a bit of a ruckus last night from what I recall.
Well, you'd left.
Well, yes, apologies.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Lead the way.
Okay, so you head to Cliff's office, which is further at the back of the theatre, and you hear raised voices coming from there. You hear Cliff's voice, and he's going, "Damn it, Chester, stop being so goddamn superstitious." And then you hear this other voice going, "Look, Cliff, it's not right. It's not natural. I refuse to put my name to anything like that. It's dangerous. Someone's out to sabotage it. I refuse to be associated with this anymore. I'm off." And then the door opens, and this guy that you've seen previously backstage, who was part of the crew, he like looks at you guys and then slams the door and storms off. And we will leave it there for another week. So, thank you all for playing. Thank you everyone in chat and everyone that's watched tonight. Thank you as always to Lost Boys Pizza for the sponsorship. So be sure to check them out and get your pizza delivered anywhere in the UK from them. Check out Monkey's Emporium for vintage retro toys. There's some He-Man stuff. Oh, it's just amazing. Belt buckles. He's doing a good line in belt buckles at the moment. But regular auctions on Facebook. And Shade Glass Games, it's our, because we're in the Midlands, friendly local gaming store for all your hobby needs, so your roleplay books, anything you like, and also for tabletop audio for the background sound effects and music. And of course, thank you to my players. So we have Bushy, Ross, and Gary. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank
Very
you.
much.
Thank you,
Enjoyed
Mr.
it.
Keeper.
We will
Cheers,
be back
guys.
next Saturday, but if you join us tomorrow, we're doing D&D.
D&D tomorrow night. We've got... Gary, I am amazed you have not picked this up right now.
Oh yeah, I forgot them. Wrestling. We've got
Monday
D&D wrestling.
night.
Monday Night War. It's the road to Waffle Mania. So Waffle is the Waterdeep Amateur Fighting Federation League, and they have a big event in spring called Waffle Mania. So we're going to have two fighters fighting to see if they can make the main event at Waffle Mania, and it's a large floating arena in the middle of Deepwater Harbour outside Waterdeep.
So join
Thank you
in. So yeah, so leading up to that, I thought we'd just explain a bit more. So there's going to be one-on-one fights starting from Monday, leading up to it.
One-on-one fights, yep, every Monday night, and then on the weekend of WrestleMania, we will have the big main event fight
Okay.
to see whoever's qualified for it.
So for anybody interested in wrestling, come on down and bring your breast smack talk, brother.
Oh yeah.
And then Thursday we've got Kids on Bikes.
Yes.
And then we're back round to another week.
Yay! So busy week ahead, actually. Oops. How did I drop myself in that one?
So also for people, keep a lookout. So there's a few other things coming up. We're going to start doing some giveaways. So keep an eye out. So coming up, we've got a plan in place, and we're going to start putting stuff out in social media and stuff for you guys to get involved in. Some awesome prizes from the guys that sponsor us for that. And we are also going to be doing some collaborations with people, which we will put out and we'll advertise as well coming up. So thank you very much, peeps. It's been wicked.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.